I hope this helps you, especially if you're just starting to trade actively and you really want to get into outperforming the market. You just do it. So we've got stuff established. We have a background for how we're getting, cash flow in obviously is important. And alongside that, getting a baseline, starting fundamentals with long-term investing. We're probably like growth-wise and comprehension-wise around chapters 1 to chapter 2-ish to maybe like chapter 10, 15, 20 in the book. So we're learning the fundamentals, and we're getting on with it. We're learning, the markets to pursue, the markets not to pursue. Most of the stuff in the first half of the book is coming around this time period where I'm doing just a lot of research, like background-wise. Obviously, like this, it was nothing for the book, but like just content-wise, what I'm learning about in the market, what I'm learning about as I move away from Subway and towards the stock market are like the fundamental long-term growth things. So as the summer starts, as sophomore summer starts, or junior summer, that's when things really start to get exciting because I start to discover day trading. So how I went about, kind of finding, because basically how it would go is, I just loved it, right? Once school got out, we were basically trading every single day from 9 to noon, and it was just awesome. I loved it. I was going pretty hard, like 100% day trading, no long-term investing, just to really understand it at the beginning. Not like the first chapter in the book where I talk about it, where it's like mixing long-term, short-term. That's kind of like you have to get a mastery to get to, I feel like, because you just want to commit to trading 9 to noon or day trading once you really start going, so that you can get, those perfect results that you need to have consistent profitability. And so summer starts and we've been doing background research, obviously, with real cash, fake positions, mostly getting it in real. So like the psychology is there, right? So it's about having the positions open and closed. So I think some of the biggest influences, kind of like learning about technical analysis, were just like all these great, and they're all like cited in the book too, like all the people that were cited for like that second half of the book who are out there promoting, saying, hey, these are the technical indicators that you can use, right? Just off the top of my head, some names that stuck out: Warrior Trading, Stock Market Watch, looking specifically at websites where, they're like all about technical analysis and that's all they do. And the goal with that, just like the goal with initial research and investing with any real project, or especially with the long-term investing, is to consume the information, synthesize it, figure out what works through experience, figure out what doesn't work through experience, and learn how to apply it to a grander extent. So, I'd go through patterns and strategies, right? Like the best way to, consistently get it going, because it was just so much fun, right? The trading was awesome and it worked out really well. I figured out what worked, I figured out what didn't work, and you get a good background all around of here's the things that worked in the first month, here are the things that didn't work, here's why they didn't work, the situations where it didn't work. So you start to narrow down. There's like so much about technical analysis out there, and my goal for like that first month was to figure out what works, and then also get used to active trader software, getting it going, and Thinkorswim, just charting in general, getting an introductory sense to action paced 9 to noon trading. You got to be quick with that stuff for sure. It's huge, right? So you get a feel for the market, you get a feel for volatility and the importance of volume, talked about a lot throughout the book. Super big overarching concepts to master as you move into that kind of marketplace where you're making 5 trades a morning at the beginning, right? So once we get that baseline understanding down, we start to move, and we just keep going. It's just practice and practice. Find the stuff that works and hone in on it so you can really understand the intricacies of, how much variance can I allow in a 5-minute candle for this pattern to remain valid, something like that. And also mastering, where do I set the stop loss based off of historic volatility. And really you'll start to get your first feel for the market. as you see, your position value, profit loss go up and down, you really psychologically have to adapt very dynamically and say, do I want to stay in this position? Do I need to cut it? Do I need to let it keep going? What's going on here? Why isn't the pattern working? Maybe if it's something like that. Or something along the lines of, do I need to give this pattern more time? You get a really good sense of time and balancing it so that all your technical setups can work out. And at the same time, you're applying and you're developing underlying fundamentals. So what to expect and what might be maybe the best trade if you keep seeing the same certain types of companies come up on your 9-to-noon scanners. And those are the ones that we talk about in the stock screener sections of the book. So just understanding fundamentally what's really good to see in a company, what's really bad. Do I see a short ratio that's just huge? And maybe short squeeze it out of that. You may talk about it in the book, no big deal. The point is, once you start to get going and you understand the technicals, you can get into really consistent patterns where you got it going over and over. And the patterns work as long as you're disciplined and you wait for the right opportunities, right? You're taking quality setups, then you'll be good. So that was sort of like the summer. It was really fun. We did trading every day, and that was like my favorite. So as the school year started to approach, we did trading for a couple months, family intermittently. I mean, obviously, right? You'd take breaks. It was cool. You could trade on laptops too if you move around places. I mean, it's only like 3 hours a day, so it's a nice little. It's really good balance. And then you get to work. I was doing more research after that. All the fun stuff I could think of in the market. I just liked it so much. So once school starts, that's when we really start to transition into cryptocurrencies. And I'll talk about that more in my next video about cryptocurrencies. Alright, well thanks guys. I hope this helps you, especially if you're just starting to trade actively and you really want to get into outperforming the market. You just do it. You read the book, get the technicals understood, and just start practicing. Position size. I talk about it at the end of the book, like diversification and balancing it. Just make it work for you as long as you've got the fundamental understanding. Just start doing it, see if it clicks, and then the first couple positions are really the biggest positions. Once you make those positions and you have a fundamental understanding behind them, you're gonna start to see significant long-term growth. All right, thanks guys. See ya.